Okay, so we are now recording. So this is our transfer track. So welcome everybody. Yeah, we have our prospective transfers, our current transfers, our pre-health ambassadors who are transfers here today. I'm Lauren Mosley. I am a pre-health advisor, and Josie, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, I'm Josie Jen Morgan, the coordinator of the Pre-Health Professions Program. Let me just ask Christina, because you've already transferred here, you might, and it's up to you, you can stay, you're more than welcome to stay. The focus is really transfer students who've not transferred yet. You might benefit from going to the other session only because those are faculty that you might already have in class and other things, but you're more than welcome to stay here. Or if you wanted to attend the other session, you might, hear other information because you've already transferred.
Yeah, how do I find the other sessions information?
Can you go ahead and
I
give
can
her
pop
the
it in
link?
the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess if everybody else would like to start, I mean, maybe do we start with our pre-health ambassadors who are transfers and have them introduce themselves and maybe say,
Yeah,
who you are, your pronouns, where you transferred from, what you're majoring in now, and what your health profession goal is.
I can start. So hi everyone, my name is Ferris. I'm a pre-health ambassador. I'm a physiology and medical sciences major and a senior at U of A. I previously had some credits transfer over from ASU before continuing my studies here at U of A. And I aspire, I'm on the pre-health, the pre-med track, hoping to be a physician in the future. Yeah, that's my plan right now. Do you want to introduce yourself too, Love?
Yes, hello. My name is Love. I am a molecular and cellular biology senior. I transferred in with credits from a 4-year university and then 3 different junior colleges. So definitely had some experience there. I am hoping to kind of look at pediatrics, pre-MD, and then my pronouns are she, her, hers. Thank you.
Yeah, and then so thank you both. I think we have William and we have Hector. So for you two, yeah, same sort of thing, name, pronouns, and then I guess where you're currently attending. Maybe when you're thinking about transferring to the U of A might be helpful for us. And then your health profession interests. So if you aren't sure yet, that's totally okay too. But whichever one of you would like to start first.
My name is William. I'm at PCC, so Pima Community College. I've been there since 2015. I'm working on my 3rd associates. This one is in biology. And I have one in welding sciences and business management. I've been honors all 6 years. I'm trying to get either the waiver or the Jack Cook Kent transfer. So that way, like, tuition is covered. I want to be anesthesiologist. It's my end game, but I kind of like stacked my schooling like a ladder, so I could pretty much step off at any point. But at the top is anesthesiology, and that's
Awesome.
pretty much my goal.
Awesome, thank you, thank you. And Hector, would you like to share? If it's not a good place for you to unmute or anything, that's okay too. You can always put your info in the chat. All right, Hector, I'm giving you a couple more seconds and then we're going to get rolling. But like I said, you're always welcome to put stuff in the chat. Okay, so thank you all for being here. Our first panel today, awesome. Okay, so Hector is a pharm tech, wants to go to medicine, works at retail pharmacy at TMC, an Arizona blood and cancer specialist. Awesome, cool, Hector. And which college are you at right now? Where are you thinking about transferring from? So if you just want to pop that in the chat as well. But yeah, so our first panel today, we have Kim from the Office of Admissions, and we have Daniel from our Transfer Student Center, and we also have Emily from the College of Medicine, Tucson. So I think Kim and Daniel, Kim, I know you have a presentation. Daniel, do you have a presentation as well Okay, awesome. I think we'll get started with Kim to kind of give the big picture overview of the U of A, and then we'll do Daniel, and then we'll hop into Emily with anything you have for our prospective transfers. So I believe, Kim, you should be able to share. So whenever you are ready, go ahead and do so.
All right. While I'm setting up, I want to say hello. My name is Kimberly Erdely. I am a transfer admission counselor with the University of Arizona. I have been here for 2 years, and I thoroughly enjoy working with our transfer student population. Shout out to those of you at Pima Community College. That's where I spend most of my time. And I work specifically with both our Central Arizona Community College, Pima Community College, Cochise. Anywhere in the state of Arizona, you are looking to transfer, I am your person. And we're going to do a little review of and just some general information about transferring and the process of admissions as a transfer student. So as you know, we sit in sunny Tucson. We sit in southern Arizona, and it's a laid-back college town with a vibe that's very different from any of the other towns in the state of Arizona. The University of Arizona started out a long time ago, 1885, with one building, Old Main. If you've been on campus, you know her. She sits at the heart of campus today and was the only building on campus in those early years. Arizona was not a state when the University of Arizona was formed. We are a land-grant university with the responsibility of taking care and educating our Arizona population. We hope that when you consider Arizona, that you will also consider where this is where you can make your personal dreams come true. University of Arizona is much bigger now. Fast forward, we now have 1 square mile of campus. Everything you need as a student is located in that square mile, whether it's your living, your dormitory and living arrangements, your eating and dining, your classes. We have several different colleges on campus. We have a grassy mall for relaxation. We have an incredible campus that is absolutely an oasis in the middle of the desert. Our student body grew from those original 3 students to now just under 47,000 students. 36,000 of those are undergraduate students pursuing their bachelor's degrees. The good news is we are not all on campus at the same time, and the university has committed itself to putting student support and student focus top of mind. In an effort to do that, we do things like keeping our student faculty ratio low and our class sizes small. Your average class size, especially in those last 2 or 3 years, will be somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 to 29 students, and we maintain a 15-to-1 faculty student ratio. So that allows you to get that personal attention from your instructors. Having said that, we do have students that come from all 50 states and actually 120 countries around the world. We are very proud of the diversity that is represented on our campus, and we strive to make that a priority. We are ranked in the top 10 public universities in the West, that ranking done by Wall Street Journal, and we rank in the top 20 public research institutions. We are the only Arizona university that is a member of the prestigious AAU, or Association of American Universities. That is due to our research. For all the information about admissions and background on the university, you can head to arizona.edu/admissions, or at the end, you can contact me. All housed under the huge umbrella of the University of Arizona are the different colleges on campus. We do have over 300 different majors housed in the colleges that are shown on the screen. Today, for these purposes, I kind of want to point out something that's kind of interesting and unique for the University of Arizona among other colleges and universities. We offer the University of Arizona Health Sciences. University of Arizona Health Sciences is one of the top-ranked academic medical centers in the southwestern United States. University of Arizona Health Sciences includes our College of Medicine, both here in Tucson, that we're going to hear from in a little bit, as well as our College of Medicine located up in Phoenix. We have our College of Nursing, College of Pharmacy, and our Mel and Enid Zuckerman College of Public Health. Those make up the Arizona Health Sciences. University of Arizona Health Sciences is a leader in next generation education, biomedical research, and public outreach, and has approximately 4,000 students and over 900 faculty members. We do, the health sciences garners $200 million in research grants and contracts annually. To find out more about the health sciences degrees or any of the 300 different degrees offered, we encourage you to visit our degree search website, arizona.edu/degree search, or of course the acenter.mymajors.com. For those of you, and I do know that one of you mentioned being an honors student at your community college, we offer an extension of, you can extend that honors experience here at the University of Arizona. We have a beautiful state-of-the-art W.A. Franke Honors Village. Housed, shown here is our Honors College in the heart of the Honors Village. 1,000 honors students will have opportunity to live in the apartment and dorm style facilities above the college. Below is state-of-the-art dining facilities and adjacent state-of-the-art rec center facilities. This is also where honors students will attend some of their honors courses, as well as find their honors faculty and advisors. W.A. Franke just recently made a huge $21 million donation and an endowment. And when that endowment is up and running, there will be a scholarship program. The money was designated to go to honors students in the form of scholarships. For more about that, adding an honors experience to your college time here at the University of Arizona, go to honors.arizona.edu. I mentioned that our students and their growth and their potential and their support are at the heart of everything we try to do. In addition to that, we know you're going to be busy in your classes, but we know that there's a lot of other ways to learn outside of the classroom. To build and deepen your skill set, we offer opportunities like internships, the opportunity from your very first semester to get involved in research projects. Those are just some of the ways that we help to build and deepen your overall skill set that sets you up, in addition with that degree, to go out into the next generation of work that some of those jobs don't even exist yet. Student support comes in many forms. We have of course, our host today, our A Center. We have on campus for all students, faculty, and staff, our Counseling and Psychological Services, or CAPS. We do offer our Strategic Alternative Learning Center. That is a fee-based program for students needing that extra support. They develop specific one-on-one programs for students in the SALT Center. For all students looking for that little help with a test that's coming up, or a weekly study group, or any form of academic support, we have our think tank services. Your student fees do cover most of the services. We also have an incredible Thrive Center that houses a lot of different support opportunities, but want to call out our First CATS. That is our program for our first generation college students. They all sit in the new 9-acre facility, student success district, our main library, our science and engineering library, and all of these services are all interconnected. Studentsuccess.arizona.edu is where you go for more information. And I do want to call out, because I know they're here today, I personally really enjoy the fact that the University of Arizona is the only one that has a specific transfer student center. This dedicated, hardworking team is there to support you from application to graduation. They are your place to hang out between classes. a place to get a cup of coffee or print a paper, but what they really are is your connection to many of the resources on campus that will additionally help support your success. I definitely think they are worth checking out. Now, we know you're not going to be in class all the time, so we want to offer some information about what to do when you're not in class. 600 different clubs and organizations. We have everything from academic to leadership clubs to things like the Harry Potter Club or athletic or sporting clubs. If there is not one of the 600 clubs that interests you, we also invite you to start your own club. 70% of all students on campus do indicate that they get involved and are actively involved on campus while they are here at the University of Arizona. If you're interested in Associated Students of UA, by maybe jumping in and doing support and leadership on campus, that is available. We have frequent club fairs and concerts and special events to get involved in. The Gallagher Theater offers free movies. And in the spring, prior to and coming up after COVID, the nation's largest student-run carnival called our Spring Fling happens right here on our campus in Tucson. Another wonderful fun way to get involved and cheer on our NC2A division sports teams is to join and get involved in Zona Zoo. That is our student cheer section. We are consistently ranked as the most loud, most fun, most proud student cheering section in the Pac-12. As we mentioned, the University of Arizona sits in sunny Tucson. 83.7 degrees is our average temperature over the 300 days. Obviously, the temperatures are higher than that in the summer. We're ranked in the top 50 best college towns in the United States by Parade magazine. We're named one of the top 20 most inclusive cities, and we are incredibly proud of that. Tucson is an easily accessible town. You can bike, we have our streetcar, and you can easily walk. If you get a little outside of Tucson, an hour's drive away, you have hundreds of miles of biking and hiking trails. We have Mount Lemmon, Sabino Canyon, and Saguaro National Park. And of course, we're in Arizona, so we have the Grand Canyon National Park. Monument Valley is nearby. Sedona and Antelope Canyon are also just day trips away. If you're looking to live on campus, we offer 23 different dormitory situations. Even some themed communities, including a transfer themed community. Approximately 7,600 students do choose to live on campus. But if you're not interested in living on campus, we have an off-campus housing office as well, and they will help you with all of the living arrangements surrounding campus. They'll help you find the right off-campus housing arrangements, should that be what you're looking for. We know that paying for college is top of mind for all of us. One of the ways we try to keep things predictable, many years ago, we moved to what's called a guaranteed tuition plan. That is your tuition, your mandatory fees. That won't change. That number stays consistent for 8 consecutive semesters. But for transfer students, you're looking at more like 4 semesters, so for 2 full years or 4 consecutive semesters. This is a guaranteed tuition. What you are quoted for tuition and fees that first year is what you're going to be paying that last semester. Tons of information helpful on our financialaid.arizona.edu website. And we want to make sure that you know about our resident transfer scholarships. The Bridge Award is for community college students with a 2.5 college GPA, 36 minimum units needed there for a $2,000 transfer scholarship at the time you awarded at the time you do your application, your transfer application. Our transfer tuition award, very similar, but it's for students that have that 3.0 or better college GPA, those same 36 transferable credits, and that award is $3,000. And for those of you who are members, honors members, or Phi Theta Kappa members at your community college, at the time you do your application for transfer to the U of A, you will be automatically reviewed for our PTK or Phi Theta Kappa $5,000 scholarship. We used to just offer those scholarships in the fall, but now we offer both spring and fall semesters. Additional scholarship information and opportunity is available at our Scholarship Universe. That's our matching database system. Once you're admitted, you fill out a profile on scholarshipuniverse.arizona.edu, and the computer feeds your answers in, and any and all scholarships you're even remotely eligible to apply for, you will find out about. And then it's up to you to apply to the ones that interest you. If you haven't already done so, we encourage you to go directly to our website, arizona.edu/apply. You'll see all the information about the application process, what's expected, and the application itself. Quickly, you're going to want to take 30 minutes or so to fill out the online application. Built into the application is a request for the fees to be waived. We used to have that outside of the application. We now include it. If you don't, if you are finding the $50 application fee a burden, we do not want that to be standing in the way of you submitting your application. So the fee waiver is now built in. Then all you have to do is hit submit, and then turn around and order all official college level transcripts. If you're under age 22 at the time you're applying to transfer, you will also want to take a look at your high school transcripts. But it is that simple. We do have a couple of things that require a supplemental application, our W.A. Franke Honors College. So once you do your general application to the University of Arizona, you'll then head to the honors.arizona.edu to fill out the supplemental application. For those of you interested in some of the BFA programs through our College of Fine Arts, those also require a second or supplemental application once your regular application is submitted. And lastly, the SALT Center, that Strategic Alternative Learning Center, does require an application as well. We hope that you will reach out to us and connect with us. Arizona.edu/visit is a wonderful way to not only sign up to take an in-person campus tour, a virtual campus tour, but you also can look at our events calendar and see the different college information sessions that are offered throughout the month. And with that, I want to say thank you. You can scan the code here to find your specific academic, or excuse me, recruiter. My information is on the screen, and I am absolutely happy to help with anything transfer related.
Thank you, Kim. Wow, it's been a while since I've seen that presentation, and the graphics are all updated and look really nice. So awesome. And now, Daniel, do you want to talk about the Transfer Student Center?
Yeah. Thank you both. Let's see. Okay. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. So I'm going to be talking about the Transfer Center today. I'll go through some of these slides quickly. For starters, as you'll know, my name is Daniel Viramontes, but we have a great team of professional staff. We also have Mercedes Luna, one of our other coordinators, TJ Brown, who's our Associate Director of Persistence and Completion. And TJ oversees the Transfer Center, but he works with Thrive, which the Transfer Center is a part of. And I know Kimberly mentioned the Thrive Center. So even though we're a part of Thrive, we actually have our own space. So while most of the programs are in that new Basque building, we have our own, and I'll share where we are in just a moment. But some of the programs under Thrive include First Cats, as was mentioned, Thrive Guides, Financial Wellness, and many others. I just wanted to give them a quick shout out. But at the Transfer Center, it is our mission to cultivate an inclusive environment for students who have transferred to the University of Arizona and guide transfer students as they gain academic and life skills through connections to resources and community. And you'll definitely hear a lot about community at the Transfer Center because we think that's very important. And some of the ways we meet our mission is by providing connections to academic, social, and professional resources, collaborating across campus and the Tucson community to serve students, and serving as advocates for the transfer student experience. So, as I mentioned, we're not located in that Basque building. We're actually located in the Student Union Memorial Center, 4th floor, room 402. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have a great team of transfer student assistants who are other students. We're always trying to hire transfer students for these positions because they've been through the transfer process, they have great experience, and they usually have a semester or two of experience as Wildcats. So they're a great resource. They're often going to be the ones answering the phone, answering emails, and the ones greeting you at the front desk. And we really try to think of the transfer center as a home base for you on campus. It's a large institution. If you're ever unsure where to go to, the transfer center can kind of be the place you fall back on, will either answer the question for you or help you get to whoever can answer it. So we help you navigate the institution. But as Kimberly mentioned earlier, it's a place also for you to study, unwind, meet other students, and it's a great place to find community and bond with other students. Just some of the perks we have: printing accommodations, laptops, locker rentals, fridge, microwave, free coffee, things like that, because we know a lot of our transfer students are commuters. We also do a lot of events and programming throughout the year, whether that's social, academic, workshops, things of that nature. Right now we're doing final survival kits for transfer students because they prepare for finals, but we've done a lot of different things. We always try to keep the transfer perspective in mind. We have a couple clubs, including Transfer Cat Advisory Board, which is a board of students. We often get asked for students to talk to admissions, to talk to Pima Community College or other campus partners, and usually our Transfer Student Advisory Board is the first group of students we turn to. But we also have our Tau Sigma Honor Society, which is similar to PTK, except it's at the four-year level, at the four-year institution. There's chapters all across the country. So your students are usually invited to join after their first semester. If you're interested in that, definitely be sure to keep an eye out for that invitation. And I'll kind of finish it up by saying, been talking about the transfer center and some of the ways to get involved. It's definitely not the only way to get involved, but we really want to encourage transfer students to get as involved as they can. That's the way you're going to learn about all the different opportunities, resources on campus, research, internships, things of that nature. And definitely getting involved with something that has to do with your major is a great idea. So if you have any questions, you can definitely feel free to contact us by phone, email. Again, we're located on the 4th floor of the Student Union. Follow us on our social media, and our website is transfercenter.arizona.edu, and this QR code will take you to our website.
Awesome. Thank you,
Thank you.
Daniel. And then we have Emily here from the College of Med Tucson. Emily, would you like to say a few words for our transfers?
Yeah, I'll keep it brief, and full disclosure, my sons both had football games today, and so I didn't want to miss out today. So I'm taking this in the car, but I didn't want to miss out on either of the things. So we're testing the strength of my hotspot right now. But yeah, I just wanted to, just kind of provide a resource to you, students that are interested in possibly going into the College of Medicine, Tucson. A lot of students will ask me, is being a transfer student or a community college student a bad thing? And actually, it's not at all. I think that, we will take those experiences that you've been able to have. Maybe your path has been a little bit different than a straight path to medicine. And so in our admissions processes, we look holistically at the whole application. And I think that, being a student that's maybe had an interesting path and had a, various paths is actually, kind of a benefit to you, because that tells a little bit more of a story and a little bit more of a background. So what the advice I would give to that are familiar with that are required for the College of Medicine Tucson, or for any schools that apply into as well. As requirements do vary for College of Medicine, it's really important to make sure that you're still on the path to complete those requirements. School. Sorry if I'm breaking up a little bit. Then also just, take advantage of the resources that we have available to students as well. and become, involved and familiar with our process. We offer a lot of different resources. We offer applicant visit, we have tours, and so just really try to get involved as possible throughout your journey as well. And then I can put information in the chat, and I'm available to be a resource. I know it's a little early for you right now, but if it's something that you're interested in connecting with me or my office, throughout your journey, I'm happy to connect and to provide a resource to all of you as well.
Thank you, Emily. Yeah, I think we definitely really tested your hotspot out there. But yes, thank you so much for putting in the time with us today. And yeah, I can see you put your email in the chat. So everyone, if you do have questions about the resources that College of Med Tucson has for you as a prospective student, please do reach out to her. But yeah, and I guess, I know we're a little bit over time, but I do want to give people a chance to ask questions for Daniel and Kim. So does anybody have any questions for them before we move on to our next panel? Anyone?
The scholarships that you showed, the 5 for the PTK, the 2 for the bridge, and then the 3 for the transfer, those aren't combinable, right? It's one or the other.
That is sadly correct. They are not stackable. So we'll give you
that.
And I was thinking of you when I mentioned that.
Okay.
Because as an honor student, you will be reviewed, and a member of PTK, you will be reviewed for that PTK award.
Okay.
And it will combine with like stuff in Scholarship Universe. So yeah, awesome. Well, I'll give maybe a couple more seconds. Any other questions for Kim or Daniel?
There was a question in the chat if the transfer center is open in the weekends. It is not currently open in the weekends unless we have like a special event or something going on. But on any given week, it is not.
And there's other like hangout spots that are open on the weekends. So the union is open on the weekends, the library is open on the weekends. So there's most of the time you can find somewhere to study on campus. And then Kim, you have one. How do you become part of the Zona Zoo?
Right. Okay, so I was waiting to answer that. It's really easy. You, by being a student, you do have access, and all you have to do is indicate. And definitely encourage you to at least attend one game in the Zona Zoo section. It's not for everybody, but it is such a fun event. If it's a football game, a basketball, it doesn't matter what the sporting event is. The student cheering team is super fun, and all students have access to Zona Zoo.
Yeah, I went to U of A for grad school, and I did Zona Zoo because I was like, I'm never gonna get to go to U of A basketball games for this cheap. So you get a really good view. Yeah, and I would say, one thing that I would toss in for transfers is take advantage of these resources. A lot of transfers don't, and like you are paying for this as a part of your fees that you pay. Hector, you sign up once you're a student, you'll be getting emails about it. It's on the U of A athletics site. That's how you sign up for it. But yeah, so take advantage of these resources. Like Daniel was mentioning, the community is really important. Having that support system of people who are coming from a background who's a little bit more like you, who's, not coming here 18 years old, fresh out of high school, who kind of understand the experiences that are a little bit closer to yours is really, it's great to have kind of that support system. Yeah, any last stuff for that first panel?
And thank you for Emily. She's doing a tag team. She's going back to the main room to sit on a different panel. So I hope your hotspot works. It's wonderful.
I hope so too.
Thank you so much. But I want to reiterate and really support what Emily said, and across the nation, community college credit is valued. You're going to be taking university credit. They're going to look for trends and patterns. They're not just going to say, oh, these classes are all at the community college and, it's a disadvantage. It is not a disadvantage. How you matriculate into a university, how you demonstrate that you're not an academic risk, that you can handle the upper division sciences is really key to the whole process. So I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions for transfer students is that they feel that, oh my gosh, I've heard, and there's rumors all the time. I heard I should not take classes at a community college. There's a lot of reasons why students take community college credit. But the ultimate, when you're ready to apply, is that you're going to have those upper division sciences that required those lower division courses. And if you demonstrate you can get an A in biochem or genetics or immunology, you know your stuff, and then they can move on, right? So they're looking for trends and patterns. Definitely you want to, connect with the pre-health advisors, because we can talk about transfer credit, or if you did find some challenges, how do we talk about that in your journey and your application, in a complete application? So just know that. And Emily, thank you so much. They are so open. Again, she's here, her kids are playing ball, right? And she's here helping us. So thank you, Emily, so much. We have a very strong partnership with them. And so we hear firsthand what the trend is, or what are they looking for, or if things change, right? So, but thank you so much for being here today. And for our first panelist, this is our foundation information, and then we'll move on to our next panel.
Awesome. Yeah. And with that, I will toss it. Oh, yeah. Thank you very much, Daniel, Kim. If you want to put, I think Emily put her email in the chat, but I'm not sure, Daniel or Kim, if you could grab, if you're okay with putting your emails in the chat for people if they want to reach out to you. Yeah. And thank you all for coming. You're welcome to stay if you'd like to. And I'll toss it to Ferris to start off our next panel.
Awesome. So thank you, everyone who was on the previous panel. I'm going to start off the second panel right now, the Getting to Know Faculty panel. And it looks like we have a couple of the panelists here. So the first one is Dr. Ted Tong from the college, who's a professor from the College of Pharmacy. And then we also have Agnes Atakai from AZ InMed. And I think we're still waiting to see Nura from UROC Recruitment.
Cindy is here as well, Dr. Rankin.
There we go. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, so I'm just gonna, let's see. So I'm just gonna start off down the list, start with your name, which department you're in, and just a little bit about your position, and then we'll get into the more detailed questions. So Dr. Tong, do you want to start out?
All right. Thank you, Ferris, for the welcome. And I want to say good morning to Hector and William, our transfers to be. And also thank Daniel and Lovey and all the ambassadors that are part of this conversation. I'm happy to be here to be talking about getting to know your faculty. And I'm here in the College of Pharmacy. We are now the R. Ken Coit College of Pharmacy because we received $50 million a couple of weeks ago as an endowment from the Coit family for the College of Pharmacy. And a good portion of that, about 10% of that $50 million is devoted to student scholarships. And so that's going to be extremely important and a valuable resource. I teach a course in the Honors College called Medicines from Bench to Bedside. And it's talking about how medicines are discovered, developed, designed, something that we're all pretty much aware of now when we're talking about vaccines, huh? And we have a great time in having that conversation. And there's 20 students in that class. And then in the College of Pharmacy, I teach a course in clinical toxicology. And that's a topic about, what happens to poisons and things that get into our body and how we treat them and how we produce antidotes and those types of things. But a couple of things that Josie wanted us to touch on, and because we have a great panel to do this, but I also want to say I learned a lot from the first panel. And thanks to Kim and Emily and Daniel's presentation. But let me just address one of the questions is, how does a transfer student get to know a faculty person? I think how we get to meet other people by knocking on the door. And believe me, as a teacher, I like to hear a lot of knocks on the door. And not after an exam. I mean, you might say, well, that's the, time that most knocks on the door are, but it's really before, in the beginning of the class, very early in the beginning. I love talking to the transfer students because you bring so much experience and background that's very interesting. And I'm always, happy to talk to transfer students because I get so much information about your experience, and the things that you bring there. So don't be shy about, I'm new here and maybe I'm being too forward, but definitely touch base with your instructors. Talk to the students at the transfer centers, about professors that they have, faculty members that they have that have been very open and willing to be mentors, advising, counseling. And I have to tell you, last semester in my honors class, I had a student exactly do that. And just to tell you, we find out that we went to the same high school, 50 years apart, but went to the same high school. And that's not all, because I went to high school in San Francisco. So talk about, how the world, is connected. Here we're at the University of Arizona, and it was just amazing. And he's interested in going to medicine too. So we've got a connection, right there. And he didn't know, and I didn't know. And so that's why, the open door does create a lot of possibilities. And so do not be timid or shy about coming in and meeting a professor. One of the things that I find very useful is when a student comes in with a short bio sketch or a little resume, because you've had some experience, courses that you've taken, work experience, service experience, you're a volunteer, you've done some things, you've traveled. Those things are all very important because they're the foundation for a conversation, for developing a relationship. So instead of going in cold, something simple, just like a one pager, who you are, the information that you're, want to be talking about, and you just might say, well, maybe nobody else is interested, but you don't know that. And so I just find that extremely useful when a student does that. So, what's the best way for a transfer student to get to know a professor? I've given you some examples there, but don't wait until, say, well, and I'll take his class, and then maybe after the class, the professor will want to talk to me. You can even come talk to me and you're not taking my class, but just because you heard I have an interest, or that you have an interest. All right, you want to be in emergency medicine and you've heard about courses that might be helpful, and we can talk about that. And you might end up linking you up with some opportunities for experience and for shadowing and things like that. So please do that. How many letters of recommendations do you write? And this is a good question, Josie, because I'm doing that right now for an individual who's from Tucson High, went to Pima College, and then transferred over here and got tied in with a pharmacology research lab. And now he's applying to Harvard, Columbia, Michigan for graduate school. He got his bachelor's degree in chemistry about 2 years ago, has spent a year in the pharmacology laboratory here, in the College of Pharmacy, College of Medicine, and he's doing extremely well. And it's exciting to see, he's made that trip, he's made that journey. And so I can see that happening in every one of you. And I have perfect examples of doing that. So the number of letters I write is not so important, is that I get the right one because I'm talking about why Aaron, that's his name, Aaron R., should be continuing to graduate school to do pharmaceutical science. So instead of becoming a pharmacist, he's decided that he wanted to really, keep his chemistry background experience, and he got his bachelor's degree in chemistry at the U of A, and then went on. And so just to give you a background where he's at. So what I'm looking for when I'm preparing his letter, obviously, are things like, his interpersonal attributes, and I think Daniel talked about resilience and having adaptability and grit and all those things. And Aaron, the individual I'm talking about, has met all those. All right, he worked full time and was successful in school. And then when he got really busy, he spent a lot of his time in the research lab, so he worked less. But we were able to give him a scholarship. He completed his bachelor's degree with a scholarship. All right, and so again, a great example of how a transfer student has succeeded. And I'm excited because he's going to go to graduate school, in 2022, probably beginning in June or July, and he'll be at one of the top schools in the nation because he's proven himself. And he's given me things that I can write about. He's published papers, he's gone out in presentations, and his senior professor really wants him to stay at the U of A. And I'm just encouraging him to go out and see. And he's come back visiting Boston and Seattle and San Francisco and says, wow, they actually talked to me and asked me about my research. And I get to talk a little bit about, the work I'm doing. So that's just a little background in terms of, as a transfer student, are you in any way disadvantaged? That's absolutely not. You're actually at an advantage because I want to hear what you're bringing here to the U of A and how we can translate that into success. So thank you for that moment because I know
Perfect. Thank you, Dr. Tong. And again, these are quick, information sessions. So contact information, follow up with Dr. Tong and all our panelists. So Dr. Rankin, welcome. I think we've had you in the past. I'm saying maybe not as often, but we definitely want to have you on our future panelists. But thank you, Dr. Rankin, and actually a transfer student who will be sitting on a future panel coming in later today recommended Dr. Rankin because he said she was a wonderful support to him as a transfer student. So Dr. Rankin, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, thanks for having me. And yes, it's wonderful to be here. And Kim was talking about the beautiful old main building. So I switched my background so you can see that, but that's not actually where I hang out. I'll show you where I'm in the Department of Physiology. And this is our location. So you can once you're on campus, you go, that's the place that she sits. So I'm Cindy Rankin. I'm a longtime faculty, been here about 35 years now in the Department of Physiology. We're in the College of Medicine. Our undergraduate program is one of the largest on campus. We have about 2,000 students, and a majority of those students are going to go into some kind of healthcare, some into teaching, some into research, some into industry. But it's a great place to get a start for a whole variety of things. And boy, just to echo, hi, Michael, just to mention, to echo a couple of the things that were said, as much as I would like to think that I'm a great source of information in class, much of what you learn is in the outside the class experience. So getting involved, getting your hands wet, volunteering, doing research, talking to folks outside, that's really where you learn about your career, about your life, and what's the best fit for you. So I'm also the director for the Physiology Honors Program. So any of you that are thinking about that right off, come see me quick. Send me an email. I'll put my email in the chat in a sec, and feel free to come talk to me ahead of time. My role in that is to help you find the best place to do your honors thesis. And we have a very broad approach to that, anywhere from writing a book, a child's book, A to Z of diabetes, to publishing a journal, a manuscript in a journal about the actual mechanism underlying diabetes. So a huge range of activities that you can do within our program. I'm also the director of and started the PhysioWorks program long ago, because as I said, most of what you need to do, you need to learn outside the classroom. And this is a way to help you find the best niche to be able to do that. We help you find a place. We help you think about why you want to choose that particular, whether it's working in hospice or working as a pharmacy tech or working as a soccer coach. All of those add fantastic skills to your ability to be resilient, as was already mentioned. And then we help you reflect on that. How are you going to incorporate it into your resume, into your application, or into your personal statements when you apply for something? Like Dr. Tong said, we love to talk to you. I'm, as you probably already realized by listening to both of us, we're faculty because we like to talk. And we love to share what we have. I love to share the content of physiology, but I also like to help share people getting you where you need to go next. And my preferred version, as much as I'd love to have you come by my office, I'd much rather have you email me and let's make a meeting at Starbucks. And I found I've had some spectacular conversations, and I know Michael has done that as well. We've had a great conversation over a cup of coffee and explored a whole variety of topics that are of interest, whether they related to physiology or your next part of your career. So it's a great way to do it. Don't hesitate to just send an email to somebody, say, I'm really interested in this. And usually all you have to do is say, how did you get into this area or this career? And that usually triggers a very long conversation or discussion with the faculty member. So don't hesitate to reach out, because we're excited to share with you. And as Ted said, we'd love to know more about what you've done too, because that enriches our ability to help students in the future, to know where you've come from and how you succeeded and how you where you're going next. So please do reach out. Let's see what else. What I was going to say. We love to help students here. That is my role. I love to share physiology, but my primary role largely is to help students use that information in the next step of their life, whether it's in medicine, whether it's in pharmacy, or whether it's in a research lab or physical therapy or whatever. So, or to teach little ones about science. We need more science teachers in this world right now. So feel free to reach out to me, and I'd love to chat with you either online if you're still looking for some information about how to get here or what you can do when you get here, or once you get here, please give me a buzz and we'll strike up a Starbucks conversation.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. And Agnes, we have Agnes Atakai, who writes a lot of letters, works with a lot of students. Yay, Agnes. Everybody's like in their car or at their kids' games, but that's okay. Thank you for being here today.
So good morning, everybody. I'm Agnes Atakai. I am Diné Navajo, and I'm with the College of Medicine and College of Public Health at the University of Arizona, and I do a variety of different programs. Most of the work I do is community outreach, hence I'm in my car. So this morning I'm part of also on the board of directors of the Educational Enrichment Foundation. So we are currently handing out gift cards for families for Thanksgiving. And so that's why I'm out in the community, out and about. So that's what I usually do. I also work a lot with students who are transferring over, specifically Native students. I myself am a transfer student. I started off at the University of Arizona, was having some challenges, family issues, and academic challenges as well. So I left the university for a bit and started back up at Pima Community College. I love Pima Community College. They had such wonderful resources for students, smaller classes, really a lot of dedicated staff and faculty. And so I did really well and transferred back to the University of Arizona to finish my bachelor's, and then later on got my master's degree, and also did some extra work over at Johns Hopkins, George Washington, Berkeley, and just finished up at Johns Hopkins with a certificate program in American Indian Health. And so in terms of connecting with faculty, staff, that was already mentioned, we're always open and willing to talk to students. I love the idea of coffee. I noticed that that is the best way to connect with students, is offer coffee or meals. I usually invite students for lunch. A lot of our students really like that idea. And then when Miss Josie and I did our success course for our Indians into Medicine program, we offered meals regularly for our students. And we had a lot of students come in and participate in our program because of the meals. And so sharing a meal and having coffee is a great way to get to know people in not sort of like not in an academic environment, but able to talk and discuss ideas. So one of the other things I do a lot is letters of recommendation for students. We do get a lot of requests from students who've gone through our program or that we know of to do letters of recommendation. And some of the suggestions that were offered earlier were really good in getting to know people, because you really want someone who can provide you a strong letter of recommendation that talks about your strengths and your academic abilities, your leadership skills, your ability to follow through on activities, those strong skills that are not academic, but really lend itself to your application of being a competitive applicant. And so we can really focus on those activities within the letters of recommendations for you. So it's really important for students to get to know us, and so we can provide those strong letters of recommendation. And in addition, I think it's also really important for transfer students, as was said earlier, to really get to know of the resources available. So when I first started out from transferring from Pima Community College to the University of Arizona, there were few resources of it there at the time, but now there are so many. There's a transfer center now that was mentioned earlier. There's a lot more resources. Please connect with those resources and utilize those. Those are there for you. There are many opportunities now for scholarships and the bridge programs that are offered. So this past summer, I actually had a student who was part of the bridge program from Tonoptum Community College to the University of Arizona. So she interned with me over the summer and learned about public health as a career to explore whether that was an option for her. And that is a good way to be able to explore a major or an interest. Are these types of summer programs that are available for you? And also, if you're a first year community college student, I don't know if it was mentioned earlier to apply for the summer health. Oh gosh, what is it now, Miss Josie? The summer health professions program?
Summer Health Professions Education Program, open
Yes.
to only freshmen, sophomores. So you could be at the community college and be a freshman or sophomore, and you're eligible. And they actually have a program where they're specifically recruiting community college students, because a lot of times community college students fall through the cracks, right? You come here, you have junior credit, and you were able to participate in some of these other summer programs and enrichment programs. So if you're in that category right now where you're a freshman, sophomore, based upon the credits you are enrolled in right now, then you can apply for the Summer Health Professions Education Program. And actually, we will be doing a virtual Zoom workshop on December 1st. We bring in other students who've gone through the summer program, and we'll help you with the application. We will write your letter of recommendation. That is one thing that we do for this particular workshop, is that many times freshmen, sophomores, who do I ask for a letter of rec? Well, this is your opportunity for the pre-health advisor to get to know you, draft that letter, not just a checkoff list, but really get to know you and establish that foundation for a future letter of recommendation. So definitely, you know, if you're a transfer student, you're a freshman, sophomore still, then attend our workshop. We're more than willing to help you with that. But summer programs are really important. Agnes and I partner on a lot of these type of events. So, but transfer students always seem to fall through the cracks. They don't realize that, hey, if you've got more than those units, you could apply to Blazer, right? The Border Latino American Indian Exposure to Research. And so those are focused, and then many times transfer students, you guys have so much credit. Again, you're coming in as juniors or high sophomores that you want to get engaged in some of those summer programs, and we want to help you get there.
Well said. I highly recommend that. And so that was all I had to say. I know we're up to the hour. So if you have any questions, please ask us questions. I guess next would be like the question and answer session. So ask us questions, or put your questions in the chat and we'll respond to them as well. Or we put our contact information in the chat. Connect us with us afterwards over the next couple of weeks, next month, next semester. If you have questions, we're always there available to answer your questions. Thanks.
Perfect. Thanks, Miss Agnes. Any questions for our faculty panel and for letters of rec or anything else? This is really a good time to connect with our speakers.
Hector wrote in asking, is that program in the evening at all? I'm guessing he's asking about like Chapep Blazer type stuff.
Oh, so
yeah,
Chapep was actually, and I met with them recently because we're doing another project, but they're hoping for this coming summer of 2022, they're going back in person. So if you qualify, they will pay you, they will fly you out, they will, and you're on that campus of UCLA or Columbia or University of Washington, University of Houston. There's 12 sites across the country. The past couple summers, because of COVID, it was virtual, but even those students that did the virtual option really benefited. And I heard that also with Blazer and Frontera and other programs that might have had to go virtual. So, you know, take those folks up on their offer, and they're really great experiences that complement what you're already doing.
Well, and Hector, some programs, he said he works full time. He gets off at 5, which is not uncommon for transfers. But, you know, there are some programs that do actually pay you to participate. not necessarily saying to go ahead, quit your job and apply for this program or something like that, but we could help connect you with things like that. And maybe you don't do one of those highly structured type of programs. Maybe we just help connect you with somebody where you could do research after hours or something like that. Any other questions for our faculty panel here?
And SHPEP is only a 6-week summer program, so you could still do summer school, or if you wanted to work, but that's a conversation we have a lot. Is students say, I have to work or I have to do this, but also knowing that your long-term goal is to go into a health profession. Again, many times they offer stipends, they'll pay for your participation. Blazer, the 10-week summer program, offers a $3,000 stipend. So, and you're earning credit and you're gaining mentorship and you're doing research, and there's UBURP and UROC. There's so many summer programs. So, definitely even art, I know Love is involved. Because Love, what programs did you get involved in?
So I'm in the MARC program, which is under the UROC umbrella. UROC has like one application, and then there's like 5 or 6 different programs. Most, if not all of them, are paid. And so I'm doing 15 hours a week of research. And then over the summer, we have a lot of workshops. I'm working in a lab. And you get a lot of support for kind of going into grad school and MD, PhD. So.
I'll just add one thing about, and Ted sort of mentioned this, and Ted and I have, I think, been at the university probably about the same amount of time, 35 or so years. Agnes is getting there soon, I think. But one of the coolest things about talking to any of us who have been for a while, Josie obviously is that as well, is that we know people who might be able to help you. So we can help you network. So even if we don't know exactly what you need, we know somebody who knows that, or somebody who knows somebody who knows that. So do reach out, let us know what kinds of things you're interested in, and we can help you get there. But we can only do that if you come chat with us. So
Cindy,
do
that's
reach
good
out.
advice. Yeah, that's good advice. I remember Hector being a pharmacy technician at Banner. Please come by. We can talk, and we'll do what Professor Rankin and all the other individuals have suggested, and but the door is open.
Yeah, and to all of our panelists, if you haven't yet, if you are comfortable putting your contact information in the chat, or if you just would like to tell us, and we can get the info out to the students later. Because I think we have some transfer students here who are doing some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Any last stuff? For this panel?
And I want to just say that with this rotation, this breakout is very different than what's going on in the main room. You see me looking over there. I actually have both Zooms going on with both earpieces, but they're a little more structured. We're kind of laid back. So we have until noon, and some of these conversations overlap. And so, I welcome the faculty to stay on, because our next group is actually the, outreach programs and the students who were transfer students. Oh my God, the advice that they could provide those students that are planning to transfer, the heads up, right? So we have a lot more leeway in what we want to do. We just have to be done by noon. So if there are any other questions, or if the faculty would like to stay and hang on, the next panel is actually the student panel. So with that in mind, Lauren, take it over as I go to the other room.
Ferris, do you want to introduce kind of the panel and the types of people who are on this panel?
Sure. Awesome. So welcome everyone to the third panel. So this is the Transfer Pre-Health Professions student panel. And thank you all for joining us, and everyone who came to be here today. So I'm just going to go down the list with everyone's name who's currently on the panel. So apologies if I get your name wrong, but we first have Ilya Panfilenko, who's a second-year medical student at the Tucson College of Medicine, and who was also a pre-health ambassador from 2017 to 2019. And so welcome, Ilya. Next, we have Michael Weinstein, who graduated from the Physiology department in 2020, who is currently who will be a first year in January 2022 at Western Atlantic School of Medicine. And so thank you, Michael, for being here. Our next student is Love, currently one of our pre-health ambassadors. She's with the MCB program, and she's a current ambassador from 2021 to 2022. So thank you so much, Love. And our next guest panelist is Dr. Yellowbird, who is the Director of Student Services at the U of A Office of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. Thank you so much, Dr. Yellowbird, for being here. And then we have Shannon Scott, who is an academic advisor for the EMS degree program. So thank you all, everyone, for agreeing to be on this panel. And we look forward to hearing what you all have to say. Let's see. So I'm going to just start off with little tiny brief introductions for you all. If you happen to be a student, you can just start with your name, the school, your current program, what you're currently in right now, your year, and what you're aspiring to be once you complete your studies. And then if you happen to be an advisor or coordinator for any other program, you can start with your name, your department, just a little bit about your position. So I'm going to start with Ilya. Would it be okay for you to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, I would love to do that. I want to apologize to everyone, first of all, for not having my camera on. It just doesn't work. It hasn't worked for some time. So I'm sorry that isn't there. But hello, everyone. So I am a second-year medical student at the U of A College of Medicine, Tucson, here in Tucson. Because I guess that makes sense when I say Tucson, but there's another one in Phoenix, just so you guys know. And I'm just finishing up my the didactic portion of our curriculum. So just I think about 2 weeks now before our final, and then we're going on to clerkships in March. So Ferris, just kind of very, very brief about background, or that's kind of what I understood. Okay. Yeah. So I went to University of Arizona, actually. I spent about 3 years there, but before that I was a community college student at Phoenix College in Central Phoenix, where I think also spent 3 years. And I wasn't actually a transfer student. I completed a degree there, and then I moved to Tucson and began my journey, or academic, university journey. And that was studying molecular and cellular biology and physiology, along with something else. So with a little bit of biochemistry, I should say, as well. So yeah, that's me. Nice to meet you, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ilya. So we're going to move next to Michael. Do you want to do a little brief introduction about yourself? Just a little bit about what you're expecting to study next spring, and just maybe a little bit about your previous experience as a transfer student.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, let me apologize if my voice is a little like here and there. Just had like a major allergy attack because we're getting into that season. So again, do apologize. But hi everyone, my name is Michael Weinstein. I was a transfer student to the University of Arizona. I transferred during my second semester. I graduated second semester of my freshman year. I graduated from the U of A back in May of 2020, and I just gained acceptance to begin my first year of medical school at Western Atlantic University. This is a brand new medical school that opened up in Freeport, Grand Bahamas. So I'll be heading out there, not the worst place in the world, I guess, to do my medical school studies. So not complaining with that. I also will be joining the school this January. So I actually head out right after the new year, like January 1st. To begin my studies out there. I'll be a part of their first cohort of students. So we have a pretty small student population. It'll be about 50. I was named a student ambassador there. So I will be meeting with the faculty at the university on weekly basis, as well as being a guide for new incoming students in the future. So that's pretty exciting. Just a lot going on. But again, I was a transfer student during my springs. I came to the U of A during the spring semester of my freshman year. Originally, I played college football at the University of San Diego before transferring to the U of A. Didn't really have a lot of advisors. They didn't really have the major I was looking for. And a couple concussions later, ended up shortening my football career. Then, it was a shorter career than expected. But, it was kind of almost a blessing in disguise because I transferred to the U of A and I had the best experience of my life. I was able to meet more advisors than I possibly could imagine, which was an amazing experience. I was able to, do research projects at the U of A. I got to meet Dr. Rankin, who's an amazing person. Miss Josephine Jin Morgan is my pre-health advisor. She's amazing. And I was a physiology major at the U of A. And then I did a biochemistry minor. So, really happy to be here, very thankful and really am happy to share my experience being a transfer student and provide any guidance that I can for these possibly new incoming students.
Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you for being here. Next person to introduce themselves is Love. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Hi, in case you haven't gotten enough of me. Unfortunately, I'm not going to the Bahamas, but I am a transfer student. I started playing soccer at my first university, ended up not liking it. I transferred home. I went to 3 different JCs, so definitely a little bit scary, but I understand kind of the process and understanding the fear of kind of transferring credits and things like that. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Again, I'm in MCB, I'm a pre-health ambassador, I'm in the MARC program, I'm in ASEMS program, and I'm also in one of the programs that Dr. Yelbird will introduce later. I don't think I would have gotten here without my mentors and really just applying to everything that I saw. So I definitely recommend that. I still have a lot of growth to do, but I'm really proud. I started, again, not in any of these programs. So make sure that when you get here, you do apply to everything and give yourself the opportunity because you deserve it.
Thank you so much, Love. All right, our next guest panelist is Dr. Yellowbird. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Ferris. Hello, everyone. As Ferris said, my name is Eliza Yellowbird. I am the Director of Student Services at the Health Science Office of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion here at the U of A. In our office, I know y'all probably saw a welcome, but we have a multifaceted services and resources for students. Later here in the panel, I'll probably share more about what Love was sharing earlier with our AZ Hope opportunities. But our office really is just a one-stop shop similar to A Center. We work really closely with the advisors there just to make sure our students are successful, that they have those resources, those connections. And if we don't offer it within our office, we make sure to get them connected with other folks too. So we really just want to make sure that students have those support systems in place, and that we also are trying to alleviate some of that financial burden, or just the burden of kind of the wake-up call or that culture shock when folks are transferring into U of A and trying to figure things out, because we know that the transfer process alone can be really intimidating, let alone when you're on this healthcare career pathway and just wanting to make sure you're kind of following those correct steps and getting those different supports and systems. So that's kind of what we do at EDI, and we have AZ Hope opportunities. So later on here today, I'll share that with folks too, because I just looked at all of our applications and we still have community college scholarships, and I want to share about our bridge program later too. So thank you so much, and I'll let you introduce the next person.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yellowbird. So next we have Shannon Scott, who's the academic advisor for the EMS degree program. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yes, hello everyone. I am the advisor for the Emergency Medical Services program in the College of Medicine, and we have a bachelor's degree program and a minor. And given all the physiology people here, I'll say that probably 90% of our minors are physiology students, so it's a great fit for that minor. You do have to be a certified EMT, but I can give more details if people want it. We're a new degree program. I took over advising for this program at the beginning of the year, and I've been advising at the U of A for almost 5 years. So I can answer any questions about the degree programs and just say that all of our bachelor's degree students are transfer students because you have to be a paramedic to get into that program. And we accept their paramedic certification courses as transfer courses. So I work with a lot of transfer students, so can answer any questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shannon. I'm going to get started on the first panel question that we drafted for the pre-health ambassadors drafted for you. Just feel free to have at it, any of you, if you have your take on any of these questions. Your words are highly valued for us and all the attendees who came today. So the first question I'm going to ask just any of you is based on your experience in your position, whether it was in your position as an advisor or as a student, what are some common reasons for why students choose to transfer to U of A instead of other schools? Or are there any programs that stand out for transfer students among anything else that is offered from at other places?
I'll go ahead and start. Our EMS bachelor's degree is I'm pretty sure it's the only emergency medical services degree that is where the courses are taught by working emergency room physicians. And so I have a lot of students contacting me from all over the country, and it is an online program. So probably 3/4 of our undergrads are from out of state. And so they're attracted to the reputation of the University of Arizona as a medical school, research institution, and to the fact that the classes are taught by doctors. And we also do not require an AA to get into the program. And many of the EMS bachelor's degree programs require an AA in other parts of the country. So.
And Shannon, I believe you had a presentation. Do you still want to give?
I can. It's a 3-minute video. I mean, it's what I presented at the Meet Your Major Fair. And so it goes through, it does go through like what the course is and why someone might choose the degree. So I'm happy to show it if we want to finish.
If you'd like, or if you want to like put a link to it or something, we can also share it out with people, whatever you feel is best.
Okay. Well, we could, if you want to finish answering the panel questions or whatever, I can do a link too. So
okay. What do you say, Ferris? You're managing our panel here.
Unless anyone has any other thoughts for that question, I can put it in the chat if that would.
Yeah, I was just gonna say one of the biggest things that really attracted me to U of A when deciding to transfer was when I was trying to decide where I wanted to go. I really wanted to choose like a college-like environment where it felt like a university. It had like a big enough class size to where I would be able to meet people from from all different backgrounds, as well as the advising centers. I know that when I went on my tour, they mentioned the pre-health advising center. That's where I met Josephine Jin Morgan, who's been an absolute pleasure to work with. And having those people, as well as like my physiology advisor, being able to kind of like, see all the classes that I had since I did transfer. The biggest thing that I was worrying about when transferring were if all my credits, my college AP courses or my dual enrollment courses would transfer. over to this university because I was almost like I felt like I was almost a semester behind. And, like being in college, transferring and also going from high school into college can be, stressful. It's a lot of classes you have to take. You have those 4 years and you want to be able to get your stuff done within a certain time frame. And it's just nice having the advisors that I had, when transferring, that really kind of just laid down a template for me, kind of like, a roadmap in terms of saying like, listen, these credits are going to transfer. A lot of the credits that I took through my high school and I took through community colleges that were specifically in Arizona, most of them transferred. And a lot of them fit, these prereqs that I had to fill out, for my undergrad, which was a huge help because it made me feel that I wasn't really necessarily behind. I did transfer a second semester, but because I took all of these AP and these dual enrollment classes that a lot of them did transfer over, I felt like I was still kind of on top of everything. And then just kind of having that roadmap, especially once I decided, I knew I wanted to go into medicine. I knew I wanted to apply to medical school. So just knowing like, listen, you need to take these courses at this time. This is when you need to start preparing for your MCAT exam. And this is when you should start, thinking about applying, and then also being able to sit down and being able to kind of talk through, do I want to take a gap year? Do I want to apply right out of my undergrad? So I think just having that support system at the U of A and having, multiple people just sit me down and just be like, listen, we have a plan for you. We get a bunch of students having different situations. We've dealt with a situation like yours before. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to get you from point A to point B. And I think that just really allowed me to kind of calm down the anxiety and the stress and everything, with that transition from high school into college. And I couldn't be thankful enough for all the people that helped me along the way.
I couldn't agree more with what Michael said. I think it was really tough going from different schools and kind of bouncing around, like I said before, and trying to find that community. I think that it was like my first meeting on campus at U of A, and I just clicked with one of the advisors. And I credit her to me actually transferring here and making this home. But even then, after meeting with people like Dr. Yelbert, who have become like a mentor for me, the A Center, of course, ASEMs, all of these different programs that have kind of pushed me to like my limits almost, or to kind of push the boundaries. I don't think that I could have found a better community for me. And there's so many different outlets on campus, whether it's clubs, whether it's just like interacting with professors who I used to be terrified of, but now become some of the best people that I know and really are like mentors to me. So there's so many people who support you, not just kind of support your desire to become a doctor or to become anything in the pre-health field or anything of that nature, but really want to like walk with you through your journey here. So don't feel pressured to kind of like mold yourself into a 4-year time frame either. I know that I was, but really getting to know that your story is important and that you have so much to offer, and that it's okay to take a little bit more time than you anticipated. Was it really what made a difference in choosing U of A. So definitely recommend it.
I'd also chime in there just kind of to relate with something that Dr. Thompson said in the keynote, which is that sometimes people are not going to be super helpful for you. And that's really awful. And, none of us who work at the U of A like to hear that, but keep trying. There are people out there, like Love said, who will help you and who will be there for you and who will advocate for you. So just keep pushing on and show that resilience, and we're out there for you.
I would like to add a student perspective to what Love and Michael said. So this will be quick. For me, actually, I'm not sure where I heard this, but before I decided to come here to the University of Arizona for my bachelor's, I heard that this was a research-focused school. And so I thought, well, that's probably good for medical school. At that time, I didn't know anything really. This was, I was in community college still at that time, and I only knew that I needed to volunteer because someone had told me in one of the classes I was in, and they had mentioned it, and I looked it up, and I realized, okay, so I need to volunteer for medical school. And then I also thought, okay, I looked into it more, I think, or something like that, and saw research. So this school had a bunch of I'm not sure how to explain it, but just it was known for that to some extent, I guess. And that turned out to be, I guess it turned out to be a wise choice because I did end up doing research here. And for any of you who need help finding or maybe, focusing in on research, you can email me. I put my email in the chat. I'll probably put it in there a couple more times just so you don't have to look for it by scrolling, up again and again. Yeah, I can direct you to some of the research I was involved in if you wish. So, and just very briefly, the research I did was actually in the College of Pharmacy, in the Department of Toxicology, with a professor who was studying lots of biochemistry and proteins and things like that, and bacteria. So, and with an element of genetics in there as well. So if you're into that kind of thing, I can email me and I'll be happy to direct you and point you in that direction. But yeah, so I'm very happy I came to the University of Arizona and did all the research I did, because I think it probably helped get me into medical school. So yeah, just want to say that.
Can I ask a question of the panel also? I think because we have our students here and definitely we have faculty too, but can you share a little bit of, what are the clinical experiences you've done? I know Ilya, you did scribing, and what are the things that you've done? And I would ask the transfer students to think about, what have I done so far, or have I done anything so far that continues this focus and this desire to go into a health profession? But Ilya, if I recall correctly, you were like doing all kinds of stuff. And I think, there's that pressure to do that, but also to balance, academic stuff. And I think you were a preceptor too. So can you share some of the things that you were doing? And again, kind of advice that you would give to transfer students as far as getting involved in those activities?
Yeah, I would love to. But so this I did a lot of things. So like Josie said, I won't get into great detail when it comes to every single thing. But yes, when I came to the University of Arizona, one of the first things I did was I started to volunteer at St. Mary's Hospital. And again, if you need me to help you in some way to try to push you into the volunteering there, I would love to. Actually, someone who visited this transfer student panel, a community college student. I don't know if he's still a community college student or he's at the U of A now. He might be at the U of A. I think this was last year, or maybe 2 years ago. I don't know if you remember him, Josie. You probably do. And his name is escaping me, but he ended up volunteering at St. Mary's after I gave him all this information.
Oh,
yeah, and then I think he's at U of A now, isn't he? But yeah, so I would love to help you get, any of you who want to do that, get in there. But that was one of the first things I did, was I volunteered at St. Mary's, and there I volunteered in a bunch of different settings. You kind of start out at the front desk, you do, a certain amount of hours in that, and then you transition to something else if you wish. So then I went to the surgery support center, then I think to the post anesthesia care unit, where I worked with nurses, helping patients you kind of come to after surgery from anesthesia, which is really interesting. People have there's really interesting responses from people that you get to observe. And also you get to, take their temperature and put little sticky electrodes on them for their ECGs, for their EKGs, and so on. And then I went to the ortho-neuro unit and the emergency room, and just kind of jumped around all throughout the hospital, spending time volunteering within different settings. And sometime after that, or, sometime along with that, because I volunteered for a while, I think I volunteered at St. Mary's for a year and a half, 2 years, maybe. I was also at some point, like Josie said, precepting for an organic chemistry course. I think that was the first one I precepted, was Organic Chemistry 1. I don't know exactly what it's called, but you guys know what I mean. And also a bioethics course at some point. I was also an SI leader, which is supplemental instruction. That is a job, however, but it it felt more like just helping people helping out with tutoring people, you know, more than just like a real job. I don't know. I mean, that is a job, but yeah, you know what I mean? It wasn't like super much of a time commitment. But in addition to that, yes, the research, like at the College of Pharmacy and whatnot, and I did some research at the U of A itself before then as well. Gosh, there was so much. You know, if any of you that are listening to this just want to email me, and we can do a Zoom call between us, and I can actually just pull up my entire resume. I can just show you everything. But yeah, it was basically lots of precepting, helping out instructors with running their courses, you know, grading papers and things like that, helping tutor students a little bit, research, doing a lot of hospital volunteering, like Josie said, scribing. So being a medical scribe just entails writing down notes for doctors. A lot of that as well, and a little bit of shadowing as well. So there's a surgery shadowing program at the University of Arizona College of Medicine and Banner run, which is currently, well, I don't know what the current status of it is, but last time I checked, it was not going on. It was on hold because of COVID-19. But when that was available before, obviously before the pandemic before anybody even knew about COVID, before it even existed, perhaps, that was something I did as well, where I went to shadow surgeries and whatnot for a bit. So yeah, those are some of the things I did. I will, I'm actually going to go ahead and look into my resume now, or CV, or whatever you want to call it, and just post some stuff in the chat about that. And then seriously, if you guys just want to contact me about it, please. I know this is being recorded, which is perfect. So whoever watches this later, or whoever's watching it now, just send me an email. I will find time to talk to you. I do that with lots of people, or not lots of people, but anybody who contacts me, I try to do that. But so, yeah.
Thank you so much, Ilya. Yeah, I think that's amazing. I think it really shows that it's important for you to be involved in like diverse activities, to really show your breadth of experience. And it makes me kind of want to ask our coordinators who are here. So Shannon, Eliza, if you can maybe speak to your programs and how those programs can help get some of those types of experiences that Ilya was just sharing with us.
Yeah, I can go. I have a few slides I wanted to share with folks too, which kind of just highlight what the program entails and some of those benefits for students. So I'm so happy this is being recorded, just so that, you know, for students who watch this later, definitely take advantage of some of these opportunities, because like I was saying earlier, we really try to make sure the resources we provide to folks really covers these different areas. I remember when we were developing specifically the summer bridge program I'm going to talk about here, working with Josie pretty closely when we were looking at what courses we should have students take. And she was saying for our transfer students, they need some upper division credits when they come in. So we made sure intentionally to have one of the courses that students go through with this bridge program be an upper division credit course, so they are able to get those opportunities too. So I'm just going to fly through. This is a PowerPoint we use for other presentations. Those are some of our folks. If you haven't already met Jeffrey Mace, he's our recruitment and retention manager. So I just want to give him a shout out for the students here. He's connected with a bunch of different community colleges. So if you ever see his name, just know he's affiliated with our office and AZ Hope opportunities. So definitely give him a chat. He's always down to text, call, anything like that. So he's a really great guy. There I am. So if you're looking at this later, take a screenshot so you have my email and information too. Again, just really trying to make sure we have support systems for you all. So I'm going to highlight AZ Hope really quickly here in a nutshell. I know Love mentioned it earlier. She's one of our scholars and kind of just rock star students. So AZ Hope, as I mentioned earlier, is a pathway program for students all the way from community college, high school, undergraduate, graduate, and professional programs. So it's a federal grant. So we go through and ask students, are they Pell eligible? So kind of thinking back You know, did you qualify for Pell when you're in your undergraduate career? It's really just assessing kind of your socioeconomic status, or are you first gen in your family to go to college or anything like that. And it's really designed to help students wanting to go into any future healthcare or allied healthcare field. So I know we have folks here that are kind of representing EMS programs. So any of your students would actually be really great to apply for these opportunities too, Shannon. So definitely I can connect with you later to get you some of this information too. But I actually look back because our application deadline closed this week. And so we're compiling and looking at our applicants, and we do have some opportunities for our ambassador program open still, and our community college scholarships. So shout out to any of the folks who are going to be transferring who are currently in community college. Take advantage of this opportunity. I can connect you, get you to the application. We'll go through and we're going to be reviewing the applicants and the applications for the next couple of weeks. And then the awards go out in the spring semester. So to highlight really briefly here, I'm not sure if Love's in one of these photos. Yep, I see her. But this is just a screenshot. We had a mentor social. So we had all of our AZ Hope students get together. We did an online virtual social with them. We had to be creative over the pandemic because we didn't have too many things that were in person. So this was one opportunity where they all got into little groups and they were able to make a group name and go do an online scavenger hunt and just kind of fun stuff like this. We try to have with students at least once a semester. Additionally, you know, students who are ambassadors or scholars, they have opportunities to attend some academic workshops or professional development speaker series we have. And then we always know students tell us the financial components of this path is always really a hardship. So with these opportunities, there are the stipends and scholarships. And so we have the community college scholarships open still, and the ambassadorship is a stipend. And if you ever apply for ambassador, you're selected for an ambassador, then you're an ambassador for the remainder of the grant. We're entering year 4 right now. And so you can only receive that funding once, but you're always an ambassador. So you're always receiving these different services until the grant completes. So here's just kind of a timeline. The big thing I want to highlight here is our bridge phase, because that's kind of where I want especially our transfer students to be looking at. Bridge is a really great program. It's a 4-week program that we have designed as a transition program for our students. And so you'll see here the application opens up January 1. It's just a copy of your transcripts and then a letter of rec from somebody who can attest to your abilities. And it's really designed for students who are looking to come to the U of A in this next academic year. So fall of 2022, or if you're thinking of transferring in for spring of 2023, this would be a good program for you. So take note, throughout this program, you get a $1,500 stipend, because we know kind of how we heard a student share earlier. For these 4 weeks, we are having you kind of be busy throughout the day. So it's kind of a 9 to 3 commitment for the day for those 4 weeks. And it's usually end of July into early August. It's the last 5-week summer session. And so with that, we know that we have students who are going to have to also have bills and things to pay there. So we make sure to fund y'all through that time. And so I just want to highlight really briefly here. I know I'm trying to talk really fast. Some of our students. So this is Brenda Valencia. She was one of our AZ Hope scholars, and she's currently in College of Medicine Tucson here. And she just shared how being a part of AZ Hope really was bringing a community that values student empowerment, diversity, and just aiding individuals from disadvantaged backgrounds. Here we have Adam Carl. He was one of our ambassadors, and he actually is in his first year of medical school here at College of Medicine Tucson. And so he just really appreciated the process because he was able to connect with folks that had similar backgrounds to him and just help reach his long-term life goals of becoming a healthcare professional. Like I said earlier, AZ Hope, it's for our bridge program. It's an opportunity where you get connected with mentors, you get connected with networking opportunities. We connect you with the A Center, so you're able to meet with the pre-health advisors. They're always really great at helping with that transition. Additionally, you get summer courses. So we enroll you in 3 different courses. One of them is an upper division course through our public health, our College of Public Health. And it's looking at health disparities, and you're with an amazing professor that just has a lot of networking opportunities too. And those are upper division credits. So the really cool thing of this program too is if you're selected for the bridge program, we cover your tuition and fees for those 5 weeks. So we really try to make it so it's not a financial burden to you or your family. So you're getting that stipend, we're covering those tuition and fees, and just really trying to make sure you're getting those connections and support systems throughout that process. And hopefully, fingers crossed, this next year we can meet back in person. Our first year was in person. You can see the students meeting with folks here. This was our cohort that graduated that first year. And then with the pandemic, we transitioned online. But we did fun things with Pull Everywhere, some Cahoots. This was our 2020 cohort. They're all rock stars. From our last year's cohort, these are just testimonials. They were online as well. The really cool thing with this last year's cohort is they started in person this fall, and they actually knew some people from their bridge cohort in their fall courses. So that was a really exciting thing for them. So this was our year 3. They did some silly things, icebreakers. Yeah, and they are just rock stars and kind of making it happen. So I know I covered that really quickly, but I just wanted to highlight Bridge and the opportunities we have for transfer students. Again, we have some community college scholarships. So spread the word, reach out to me. I'll share information with the coordinators here today so they can also share it with you as well. But I want to pass it over to Shannon to share about her program too here.
Okay, that was great. All right, I'm going to show the slideshow, and so I can go through it a little more quickly. So let me share my screen. Oh, can I get the ability to share? It's not letting me share.
You should have it. It says all participants. Here, I'll do only host and I'll do all participants again.
Okay.
Does it work now?
It's not. Oh, there it is. Okay, it just was in a different place than I'm used to. So sorry.
You're good.
Okay, slideshow. Oh my God, bear with my lack of ability to have technology. Okay, just listen, it's recorded. Except it's not skipping. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, when you share your screen, you may need to also like click there's like a button at the bottom that's like share audio or something like that.
Oh, okay, that's why I don't want to do the audio. So
okay.
I wanted to just talk through it, but
yeah, I mean, we couldn't hear anything, so I think it was what it's supposed to do.
Okay. Sorry, I wasn't prepared.
It's okay. You're good.
All right. Okay, so this is the slideshow that I did for Meet Your Major. So this talks about the 2 different programs. We have the bachelor's degree program and the minor. To be in the bachelor's degree, you have to be a certified paramedic. So they're not traditional first-year students at all. And we have both main campus and online. And so I have lots of vets in the program, and everybody works a pretty crazy schedule. So they're really an interesting group. And then for the minor, as I said before, most of our minors are in physio or they are med school bound, and you have to be a certified EMT to be in the minor. And you can do that at the university in EMD 197, which is offered fall, spring, and summer, and we just added a section for spring. So we have doubled the enrollment, and those classes filled up in 2 weeks, even the double enrollment. So if you have students that can't get in, just let them know that they can take it in the summer, and we'll have 2 sections every fall and spring from now on. And they can also work for UAEMS once they become an EMT. What I've found is that many of the minor students don't know that UAEMS exists. I don't know if this will work on the recording, but that's a live link to their program. And so they work as an EMT on campus and get that experience. And so that's a lot of our students do that, but you do have to apply. So not everyone gets in. Just a couple of things about who becomes an EMS student. And then this is for the minor. You have to either be a certified EMT, as I said, or be enrolled in EMD 197. You take 4 emergency medicine courses, and you can see the wide variety of courses available. If they are working for UAEMS, we give them credit for that. So it's a 3-unit internship. They need 1 science course and 1 leadership and healthcare course. And then for the bachelor's program, you have to be a paramedic. We do allow work internships, so that gives people 6 to 9 units for going to work as a paramedic, which is very appealing for our students. All of the EMS courses are 7-week courses, so and they're all online, and so students can work and go to school. Makes it easier. We do offer recertification courses, and this is true for the EMTs as well, so they can get college credit to take a recert course. And then it just gives them a background, an education and experience to go into supervisor positions, leadership. Many of them go into education, and many want to go on to med school or PA school. So for the bachelor's degree, you need 11 units of science, and we're very flexible about what that is. This is sort of what we recommend. We prefer college algebra, and then 1 statistics course is required. And then they take other courses in leadership, healthcare, and communication. So here again are the listed EMS courses, and very popular with the minor students, courses like wilderness medicine or disaster medicine. And we do say to the minor students, you can meet the physicians and then get those letters of recommendations for med school or PA school, and then get post-COVID. We hope there's a post-COVID, probably won't be, but we hope there'll be more opportunities for ride-alongs or shadowing. That stuff happened before COVID. There are some research opportunities with some of the physicians, and that students can talk to me about or talk to the physicians about. Okay, and that's all I have. It's brief. It's a pretty focused group for the bachelor's degree, but for the minor, it is very popular, and I find that a lot of students don't know about it. It's pretty new, so we're trying to get the word out more, and the A Center has been amazing, and physio as well, supporting both the bachelor's degree program and the minor. So I appreciate all of you in those places.
I've heard great things from students. They really love it. If they like that kind of like high pressure environment, then it's like amazing for them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and Love is you're getting lots of kudos today, Love, but you are the type of student that is in the minor. They're doing everything you can imagine. She is also in our minor, in addition to all those other things she listed, and she very nicely and persuasively asked me to come today, and I'm happy to be here. She will do well. wherever her path takes her. But she's
Thank you so much. See, like these are programs I had no idea existed, and now that I'm like kind of on my last year, gonna extend it. It's great, and I hope that everyone's able to take advantage of these opportunities because it's nice, especially if you're getting some tuition assistance. Doing ENT on the side is really expensive, so just being able to do it on campus and have a minor in this it's pretty incredible.
And Michael kind of mentioned that that idea a little bit in the chat, right? Of making sure that you reach out for everything, try everything, apply for things, ask questions. Do you want to expand on that at all, Michael?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know if you guys, I know I kind of wrote a lot, didn't mean to do that. It's just a habit of mine. So
no, that's good
for the little paragraph, but I know like the way my process worked when I transferred it over to U of A was, once I started to really catch up, because I was still recovering a little bit from my concussion, but once I started to really catch up with the speed of college and everything, and I started to realize, okay, I want to do more. Like I want to be able to do these experiences like shadowing. I want to be able to do research. I want to do internships. Like I was ready to start really reaching out. And so what I first did was, I know that U of A had they had this certain website that I found out through the pre-health advising main website. I know it's changed a lot with COVID and everything. And I know that they really updated U Access from when I graduated. But they had a website that had a bunch of professors on there and their email, and then also professors looking to do research programs and everything like that. So, what I first started doing, sorry, I don't know why my computer was glitching out a little bit, but what I first started doing is I just started emailing one after another. I remember I would spend weekends, all weekend, just emailing professor after professor saying, introducing myself, letting them know my major, letting them know what I really want to go into, seeing if they have research opportunities. It was my first time really looking for research. I've never really have done any research before then. So I was really looking to find a good program where A, it really interests me, and then also B, it was a program that really would allow be a teaching program where I would be able to gain that experience. And I got a lot of rejections. That's one thing that I realized within the medical career is that you're going to get no's left and right. All it takes is that one yes. So, and to get that one yes, it takes the tenacity, the drive, the courage, and the effort that you put towards, continuing to reach out, not taking no for an answer, and still looking at all the other options. Because what U of A has to offer is they have a bunch of opportunities for you. Like what Shannon was just mentioning, if I knew about that, before graduating, I would have 100% done that. That sounds like an unbelievable opportunity. And, having these experiences are what allows you to take that next step. And so after getting no's left and right, I reached out to my toxicology professor, and because I knew that she had ties to not only U of A in Tucson, but also in Phoenix, to where I got my first research program over at the University of Arizona in their downtown Phoenix location. And from that experience, my whole progress and my whole path just took off from there. It was an experience that was perfect for me. They sat me down when I first joined the program, and they're like, listen, we've had students that have had research experience in the past, and we've had students that this is their first time doing research. And we're able to provide you with the tools, and we're willing to walk you through these next steps and support you from here on out. So, I was able to do my first research program, which was awesome because it was on, traumatic brain injuries. So I got to use my own experience dealing with concussions and apply it towards my studies, which is what I was really looking for. And that's what when I emailed my toxicology professor, she let me know, what are your interests? What are you looking to get into? And, I gave her a list, I'm interested in this, I'm interested in that. And she provided me with all these contacts that she had. And then I took the initiative to then email those professors to where I, got my first research program. And kind of going off of that, once you join a program, whether that be an internship, research, those people want to support you. What I've learned after graduating is that, people who have already gotten to, medical school, or people who are already physicians, they want to guide you and help you to become a physician, And so when I finished my research program there, I was able to, do more research at the U of A in Tucson during my senior year. I was able to do an internship program through Banner, where I was in their South Banner location in Tucson, where I was working in the ER over there, which was great experience. And then also after graduating, I was able to meet with a person who did research before at one of the labs that I worked with. And he's now starting his residency. He was a 4th year medical student when I first reached out to him. And he gave me great advice in terms of like, what medical schools are looking for on your application, because it's like, you start to realize that, these medical schools, they're getting thousands of applicants. So it's like, you want to figure out, what do I need to say? What do I need to put down that makes me stand out? And having that support system and having that guidance, even after graduating or during like my senior year, was really helpful. And not only having that guidance and that support group, but also being able to expand my knowledge, being able to really get my hands in there and being able to really see what it's like to work in like a high impact environment only benefited me more and really assured me that this was like a path that I wanted to go into. So I guess the thing I want to, kind of emphasize is that, there's opportunities there for you, but to really gain that experience and to really be able to do those and gain access into those opportunities all comes from how much effort and work you want to put into. If you want to go into medical school, you want to do these research opportunities, these internships, you got to be able to push yourself and step outside of your comfort zone and be professional. And let them know, this is what I want to do. Are you able to help me? If not, thank you for your time. Let me go and find out another research opportunity, or let me find a professor that really helped me. I know also with Dr. Rankin, I was in her Physio Connects course during my senior year, and that was huge, especially like preparing me for the next steps in terms of applying to medical school. I know we did, we covered topics in terms of how to interview, which was amazing. Being able to kind of like, do these mock interviews and being able to get, constructive criticism back to see like, where are the areas that I need to focus on more? What do I need to do more? What do I need to do less? How can I shorten down, my whole, because, you want to be able to have that story that you want to present to medical schools. You want to be able to, show them the type of person that you are and why, you want to be a physician. And so I think having all those resources and that guidance was critical towards, gaining my acceptance into Western Atlantic University. So I think that U of A has all these opportunities for you. You just got to put in the work to reach out and to actually, put that next step towards becoming that physician that you want to be, because they're there for you. You just gotta be able to ask the questions,
I knew we asked the right panelists to come on this panel. You know what? I feel that motivation, that drive, that passion, and that's what comes out in some of these applications is they want to see that fire on paper. Not that you just checked off things, but how does, I love it. And I wish we had 2 more hours, but you know what, guys, we got 2 minutes. So I love this. This is great. This is going to be recorded. It'll be shared with others who were unable to attend. Hector, you got all kinds of, and William got all kinds of information today and connections. We want to see you on campus. And I also want to give a shout out to Ilya. When he was an ambassador here with our program, he actually birthed the idea about having a transfer breakout. He said, Josie, I didn't get really good information when I was at the community colleges. We got to do something. And so that shows initiative and things that, our students are doing. And to come back as a second-year medical student, he could have blown us off and said, I'm busy, right? But you see that drive, you see as an undergrad, why they are doing this, not just for themselves, but because they really want to help others and pay it forward. And, I want to say thank you for everybody. I know that we have our ambassadors that will do a closing, but I just wanted to, say, we could go on for 2 more hours. And we know that everybody's here on a Saturday is putting in their time and saying, I want to be here because, and Emily being in her car with her 2 boys playing baseball, right? So I really appreciate everybody here, on behalf of the A Center and Pre-Health Professions Program. You guys make the foundation for our students to be successful. These are the folks that they get to hear and connect with. Yeah, they're going to hear a lot of no's, but I really appreciate it. I'm going to hand it over to our ambassadors to do a closing, and then really thank everybody for being here today.
One quick thing before the final closing. Hector, I'm going to put a link in the chat for a feedback form. We're starting to do feedback evaluations for all of our events, so we'd really appreciate it if you fill it out, because it'll help us to make this event even better in the future. So I just put that into the chat. I think I'm also going to save this chat so we can hopefully gather some of the tips. And because I don't believe you're able to watch those during the recording. So I'm going to save the chat on my computer, and hopefully we will have some way of sharing the tips in the chat with people who do view this recording later. So I will try to figure out the best way to do that. But yeah, so I'll toss it to Ferris and Love if you all want to wrap up.
Awesome. I guess I can deliver the closing remarks since you spoke quite a bit, Love. Let's see. So closing remarks. So this is the conclusion for today's event. Thank you all panelists for taking the time today to share your valuable information that will assist students in their pre-health journey. We look forward to seeing you at our future pre-health programs and events. Contact information for our panelists will be available along with the recording within the next 7 to 10 days on our prehealth.arizona.edu website. And we all hope that you found all this information really helpful, and thank you again for attending, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and weekend.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, thanks everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
All right, thanks everyone.
Bye, Michael.
Bye. So